You don't care if I'm alive or dead, as long as I don't become a threat. Delete these viruses that you spread, uninstall your software from my head. From the beginning you washed my brain, you spun your stories so they caused me pain. I can't believe that I trusted you, but I was stuck in your web that I fell into. Pushing and pulling me back and forth diabolically, spent so much time impairing me psychologically. Do you believe in everything that leaves you melting down? You sell it all to yourself. You don't care if I'm alive or dead, as long as I don't become a threat. Delete these viruses that you spread, uninstall your software from my head. Uninstall your software from my head. Blindfolded while you held my hand, dragged me through hell, all part of your plan. None of it matters, it's all over now. Say goodbye, you get the cold shoulder now. It's well time that I'll take for myself. Put my thoughts in a reason I shall. Delusions of grandeur, illusions of better to my desires, but you're just a liar and I'm sick of it all. You don't care if I'm alive or dead, as long as I don't become a threat. Delete these viruses that you spread, uninstall your software from my head. You don't care if I'm alive or dead, as long as I don't become a threat. Delete these viruses that you spread, uninstall your software from my head. Uninstall your software from my head. Uninstall your software from my head.
Love is in the air when it comes to Mommy and Dom Dom. Are they the most power couple of WWE today? We got all that and a little lanyard for you coming up on this live stream edition of the Wordly Podcast. Let's go.
So what does it mean to be a raging Cajun? Southwest Louisiana, wreck your face, man. Still don't get it in, I'ma let you know. All you gotta do is come and join the show.
Well, hello again, everybody. We are the highest tier pod of your weekly unfiltered wrestling and entertainment, and we're ready to go. Welcome to the Worldly Podcast, presented by W Energy and 80s Tees. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and we are on YouTube and Twitch as well. The Hostly Trio is here. I'm Marcus, and MarcusLee337 on Twitter. He's Dylan. He's Jordan. How are we doing, everybody? Where can we find you? What's going on?
Well, I nearly had a heat stroke at work today, but aside from that, I'm doing all right. And I see Jordan has joined in on the trend with Marcus. I see that things are going nice. And also, I want to shout out my wife for getting this really cool cup today. She was trying to forbid me from coming on the stream with it, but she's watching, so I wanted to just show her that I'm using her cup tonight, and it's actually really nice.
If you want to retrieve the cup, you can find him on Twitter at DylanAber_.
You got that right.
And Jordan, you can find him at Jordan_J2000. And man, the comments are just flying. Good morning, broadcast. How you doing? Hello, Miss Terry in the other room. Even your sister's joining in the other room. Justin, ooh, how you doing, man? What's going on? We missed your show. I missed you for SummerSlam 97. You missed a fun time. Episode's going to drop soon. I did with Freddie from the Boys of SummerSlam. So, what do you guys want to talk about? I'll let Dylan start off.
Yeah, I mean, we still got comments rolling in. You know, our guy Freddie just tuned in also.
What can I say? We're just famous. We've been doing this 2.5 years, and we got the love everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got a record going here. I think that's the most comments I've seen, and we only been on the air for just for us a few minutes. If you include the intro, that was 5 minutes, 22 seconds right now.
Pretty much.
And I have lights.
Yeah, it's been what was it? 2 weeks ago you lost your power, and we had to like postpone an episode.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh wait, yeah. Hey, flash it one more time. Wait, which one? Dylan's or mine? Probably Dylan's. Will can't see this. He's gonna make fun of me having Def Leppard. That's one of my cassette collections I made on my Tumblr. So, good thing you can't see that right now. So, let me repeat that again. What do you guys want to talk about?
So let's keep the trend of the thumbnail about let's talk about who's on the thumbnail first. And why don't we kick it off with Marcus's favorite superstar of all time, and that's Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley, the new power couple of the WWE. Marcus, I know you hate him, but he is drawing fucking legit heat right now. This guy is unbelievable right now, and it only took kicking Edge in the nuts and then clotheslining his own father. This is what it took, and every time this man holds the microphone now, he can't even speak a word without the crowd booing him out of the building. Now, I know people say, okay, well, MJF is the top heel of professional wrestling. Yeah, I get that, but people cheer MJF. They actually let him speak. They don't do that for Dominic. They don't cheer Dominic. They don't let him speak. So my question to the both of you, is Dominic the biggest heel over MJF right now?
No, and I'm not saying that because I hate him so much. I don't think nobody could be a worse heel than MJF right now.
Yeah, I have to go with MJF, I think.
I mean, it's a tough one right now, because he is drawing legit heat right now. He's been drawing heat week after week, and the boos are only getting louder. I know we talk about how whenever Cody Rhodes comes out, how the woe gets louder and louder every week, but the boos for Dominic is unbelievable. So if you want to keep this heat going, number one, you got to keep him with the person who's next to him in this picture, and that's Rhea Ripley. I think joining Judgment Day was probably the best thing for Dominic's career, and it's not even close. So keeping him with Rhea Ripley, it's just the easiest thing to say right now is you got to keep them together. For right now, I want y'all take on this because Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio, are they the new power couple of WWE? Is there a couple that overtakes them right now?
Let Jordan go first.
No, they don't have another power couple right now. Right now, it's Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio, and I love it right now. And that's Marcus's best friend.
Oh God, shut up. Only if it was out of him and Logan Paul, then I would say
Don Callis as well. Don Callis as well. He also, when he talks, also gets booed out of the building. So yeah,
I actually like Don Callis. I like when he talks shit. But yeah, I mean, you can't get Dom to talk because everyone boos as soon as he grabs the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
But where do I even want to go from here? I mean, until they start making out and shit, then I would consider them. I don't know what I want to consider them now. I don't even consider them boyfriend and girlfriend, or I'll consider them as friends with benefits at least. Until I see some action between them two, then I could say they the power couple. They come out together in a lowrider, and he gives her flowers like Eddie did with China. Then I would consider it. Even though they're not really together on TV, my opinion, I'm saying Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch might be the power couple because they're actually together in real life. In real life, Rhea's with Buddy Matthews, and Dominic's actually engaged to another woman. God bless her soul. She got to deal with that piece of shit for the rest of her life. But I guess I will say it's entertaining that Rhea, like when Rhea got that title, we all called it. She was getting the World Heavyweight Championship in a white strap. Dom just come out and he just yanks it out of her hand and jumping with it like, bitch, that's the women's title. You're not a woman. Give that back to mommy. But hey, he was kind of a gentleman to put it around her waist. And then they took like a prom photo together, like you see right here.
Yeah. So y'all don't agree that the Dom's the greatest heel right now, but at least the people in the comments do. So I might look for some podcast replacements because they actually agree with me.
Well, it's crazy how y'all all compare me with Dom and shit. Like, oh, it's Marcus's best friend. That's all. I'll wear any free shirt. And then you should give me two, one to shit on and one to cover it. But it's crazy how, I don't know. I feel like a little Dom is coming in me and I don't like it. Like, my hair is getting long and it almost looks as long as his. And I'm like, no, I can't look like Dominic right now. That's why I'm keeping the beard. Because my hair's fucking growing out. You just can't see it because it's wet.
Something Jordan almost didn't have after a few days ago. He texted me that he was getting ready to shave his beard off. Son of a bitch.
Keep that beautiful beard. I love my beard. I know. I don't know if he is or not, but I got complimented by a guy that he loved my beard. He's like, dude, I love your beard. And I was like,
that's not a bad compliment. I mean, did he have a beard?
He had a shitty beard.
Maybe he wants one like yours. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you grow a beard and strangers are fascinated. And they ask me, they tell me dumb shit. I say dumb shit back. Hey, why'd you grow your beard out? I joined Al Qaeda.
Oh, wow. Damn.
I mean, you can talk about facial hair. You can't go to a random guy and be like, hey, how long you had the man boobs? Are they natural? Now you're looking at my man boobs. To me, they're beautiful. When do I get a Dove commercial? I'm talking about the Dove ice cream bar. The one that barely cleans your body and is less racist.
Yeah. Man.
Oh, God. You think that's bad? And I'm talking about Dom. I got something bad for you before I move to that. Or do we have anything else we want to say about Dom?
No, I got everything else I needed to say. I think he's the best heel right now, and I think that they are the power couple. They are on screen. They're actually on screen. Becky and Seth, they're a real life couple, and yes, he's the world champion. She's a former multi-time champion, but they're not on screen together. They're not showing that they're a couple. Everyone knows they're a couple, but Rhea and Dom, I don't think you can get any better than that right now. It's entertaining. It's something that I look forward to every week. Dominic, he plays the role so good. So I absolutely love it. They need to continue this. Don't break this because they have broken up many teams and stuff like that, and it was horrible booking. Like Enzo and Cass, I know there was talks of the Street Profits. I know that's all gone now, but these are two people you got to keep together. So do not break apart Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio because I more than likely will stop watching. No, I won't, but still.
Like how you admitted that. Oh no. I'll tell you something worse. Oh, I talked about this on Botch Spots and Chair Shots a few days ago. Let me start with Ryback. God, Ryback has been the talk of many different reasons. First, CM Punk did an interview about his segment with him in 2012, how there was a spot where he went to throw him off the stage through a table and he completely missed the table and he almost fucked CM Punk up. That he literally went backstage and I want you to admit to me, are you just plain fucking stupid or you just can't wrestle? And he replied to Punk, I'm just plain fucking stupid. That's the first thing. Not only that, he posts a TikTok calling out all the fucking haters, saying that he is the meal ticket And Ryback is coming soon to fucking what? The Indies? Tony Khan, don't you fucking sign this man. Because according to DQ.com, Ryback said that a match against Bill Goldberg at All In would exceed all expectations. Fuck you, Ryback.
Man, where do I start with this? You know, I feel like with him, there's so much to take in. You know, I can't see anything on Twitter because he blocked me, which I feel like I'm honored to get blocked by this man because he's just a piece of shit. But to go as far as to saying that a match with Goldberg, who's like 100 years old, that would exceed expectations. Expectation of what? You know, him not dying in the ring. Come on, man. Like, no. Like, for when people want to watch All In, to see the crowd at Wembley, it'll be kind of like a WrestleMania style crowd. I feel like, you know, with how big the arena is at Wembley. Nobody wants to see Goldberg and Ryback go at it. That's the worst possible matchup you can ever think of. And if Tony Khan does this, I gotta question the booking. You know, do not bring Ryback in. Don't bring Goldberg in. No one wants to see either one of them in AEW. So if you're gonna have a match with Goldberg, fuck, dude, have it at some fuck GCW event that no one watches.
Jordan.
Yeah, if they do that, I don't know. I don't. It's bad if they do it. 'Cause I wouldn't even watch it.
Real quick, can y'all could see this, right? I'm about to play his TikTok he posted. First off, he's got a chip in his tooth. He looks like a steroid Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber with a bald head. Like, I want you to listen to this. I mean, I didn't get the video uploaded because, which there's no music involved. I don't think we'll have any copyright issues with this, but I want you to watch and listen to this TikTok he posted that got everyone like, what the fuck, man? Check it out.
I just want all you little skittle guzzling, Bud Light drinking bitches to know there ain't a goddamn thing you guys can do to stop the big guy Ryback. Not a goddamn thing. So this goes to all my hungry hoes out there. Big Daddy Ryback is your meal ticket. Feed me if you need me. Hashtag hungry. Feed me more. I just want all you little
Hungry hoes. You meant to say hungry hippos or some shit? What the fuck? Oh my god. I haven't laughed like that since I was a little girl.
Wow, that's a lot to take in with that video. You know, I feel like he's kind of like, it's kind of hard to see who he's impersonating. You know, he's obviously not being himself right there with that one. He's clearly impersonating someone, but no one wants to see Ryback. And yeah, watch, I got mine too.
I'm proud of it. I don't fucking give a shit. Fuck
yeah,
him.
I can find mine. I can find mine while I'm talking, but yeah, his oh wait, let's see.
Yay, we're on the trend.
Yeah.
Jordan. Now we're waiting for Jordan to get blocked.
Fucking Jordan is not blocked by anybody because he doesn't post anything. He just retweets. If you go on Jordan's Twitter, it's just nothing but retweets of our show. That's all it is.
You know, do you know how to send a tweet?
I never post nothing.
You gotta at least say something. I mean, me and Dylan just tweets nonstop when there's a Saints or an LSU game, and he's like just shit talking the refs, or surprised he ain't in Facebook jail like I've been in the past and all that, or banned from Twitter.
Dude, I am fucking unbearable during football season. So anyone watching, if you follow me on Twitter, if football season roll around, you may want to unfollow me or just mute me because I say a lot of stuff during football season.
You remind me of Kevin Owens right now when he has this big outbursts, because that is like the best thing Kevin Owens is doing right now. It's like you're Kevin Owens when it comes to the Saints and the refs and bad calls, and I'm just like Sami Zayn, like, your blood pressure, man, your blood pressure. Did you take your blood pressure medication?
That's too good.
Kevin Owens with those outbursts is like the most entertaining thing outside of Seth Rollins.
Yeah, So real quick, I wanted to give a shout out to someone when the stream started, but I completely forgot. That's on me. So aside from the Worldly Podcast font that's on the side of Jordan and obviously Ryback, I want to shout out Nick from the Universal Wrestling Podcast for making this cool background for us. I asked him, I think this past weekend, and he exceeded all expectations. He actually did exceed all expectations, unlike Ryback's moron ass for doing that. So yeah, he did a cool job on this background. I had told him I wanted to adapt a new theme like red, black, and he did a cool job on it. So a quick shout out to Nick for helping us out right there.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Also, I want to give a shout out to the brand new Stanley Cup champs, baby. The Vegas Golden Knights. Let's go. Finally on the board with that. We should be 2-time champs. We could have been the first inaugural team to win a Stanley Cup since I think it was fucking Toronto or something in the 1920s, or Boston, one or the other. I saw a list of that. They became the second youngest team. Now
I got nothing to be. I got nothing to be excited for right now. I am a Chicago Blackhawks fan. We traded Patrick Kane. We did not re-sign Jonathan Toews. We did get the number 1 pick in the draft, so we all know where we're going with that one. But I hope this team has a good future because I'm actually tired of watching the Stanley Cup playoffs and the NBA playoffs and not having anything to root for because my teams are so bad. So I just hope something good happens next year.
I mean, losing Patrick Kane was a big mistake, but before that, y'all lost one of the greatest goalies of all time, Corey Crawford.
Yeah, that one hurt too. You know, we lost Corey Crawford. That was just the beginning of the downward spiral this team continues to go on, unfortunately.
It's like ever since y'all won y'all last one in 2015, y'all just went downhill. And I just got to say, man, Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, Hasselhoff, you guys, I enjoyed watching y'all this season. And I think Eichel and them have an extended contract. I think they signed a 8-year contract or 10-year back in 2019. So we still got a long more years with him and Mark Stone. Mark Stone came from the Senators. So he's a Canadian. And he's from Winnipeg. So I wonder if he knows Chris Jericho and I wonder if he's a Blue Bombers fan like you.
I don't know. I know we're 1-0 though. I know we had a pretty good game last weekend. We play tomorrow against I don't fucking know, but I know we play someone that's not that good.
So now that I have a hockey team that I've been with since day one, the second youngest team in the NHL, and they finally have a championship. So now I'm only down to one professional team. I think we are all down to one professional team to win a title, and that's the Pelicans.
Yeah, and trade talks apparently with Zion, rumors going on, but I don't know what's going on with Zion right now. So I don't know what's going on with this whole team right now.
Here's this. If he cannot play another full season, fucking get rid of him. Get rid of him. I'm already now. Same thing with Michael Thomas. I'm fucking done with Michael Thomas. I want him gone.
Well, I mean, I'm seeing practice. Michael Thomas is looking good. He's looking good with Derek Carr. So hopefully he's healthy and he stays healthy because the team looks good on paper. So hopefully, but we'll see.
I want to get rid of him if he can't play a full season. He ain't played one full season since we drafted him in 2019. Because his hand and his foot.
Yeah.
That's why we can't win playoffs, and we can't even make playoffs without everybody. You can't just rely on Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk. Let's get out of the sports talk. That's why I have a YouTube show called SAT Sports. So, all right, give me your next topic.
Well, you want to stop sports talk, but unfortunately, the sports talk will continue because of who it involves. And The Rock is the new owner of the XFL that just completed their first full season. Because everyone knows the first season of it coming back under the Vince McMahon ownership got stopped due to COVID, the horrible pandemic, and the season was going really well before it stopped. Now they bring it back under new ownership. The Rock, he puts a shit ton of money into this. Same teams, just about. A few teams changed names and locations. Luckily, DC Defenders, my team, kept their location because of the beer snake, the team name. And they made to the championship game. Unfortunately, they lost to the Renegades, who were first in Dallas, then moved to Arlington, and they won it on the same night we went to the Dynamo Sounders game in Houston, Texas. So Sadly, my team didn't win. But the reason why I'm bringing up the XFL is because The Rock is included in the ownership, and they just announced that the XFL this past season just lost a whopping $60 million in revenue. Now, my big question about this, I'm not sure if that's true, but I'm seeing the XFL was like financed through like 5 years, but they lost like 60 million in their first year. If they are financed through 5 years, does it last after the 5th year is over, or I mean, do they keep losing money until they eventually fold?
I saw what you did there. I said, okay, we had enough talk about sports, and you're like, no, I'm gonna bring XFL up. I thought you were gonna talk about AEW next, but had a 7-hour what the? And does the NFL even do shit like that? Oh God. Well, first off, you want to know why you lost $60 million? Because you let the fucking Renegades win the XFL championship. You let a team that started 0-4. First off, I'm pissed at the fucking Roughnecks. They should have won that goddamn game. And of course, they blow it. So you knew damn well I wasn't going to watch that fucking crock of shit. That was the night we went to that Dynamo game. I'd rather be there in person, my first ever Dynamo experience, because it's a tradition. I go watch my professional team for the first time and they lose. So it joined the Saints, joined the Pelicans, and it joined the Astros back in '95. So congratulations, Dynamo. I love y'all, but hey, you kept the tradition going. First time going to see y'all in person and y'all lost. So we kept the trend going. I'm sure Vegas will do the same for me if I ever get a chance to go see them in person. If not, then they'll be the most out-dominant out of all my professional sports teams. But yeah, I felt bad for you, though. I mean, I know you didn't care because you were enjoying the Sounders getting that 1-0 win over the Dynamo, and you were shit-talking the Houstonians, throwing shit on the field and everything. But that was the last thing on our mind was the XFL. I'm glad it actually finished the full season, but I was just pissed about them losing to the fucking Renegades. Yeah, they're still the Dallas Renegades. Arlington, Texas is only 20 miles west of Dallas. That's where the Cowboys play too. And the Rangers. They're the Renegades are not. They're a real professional team, but they're a semi-pro team. But 2 of their professional teams are in Arlington. The rest are actually in downtown Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, at least they're not shitty like the fucking USFL, our team, who's been kicking ass, and then they drop 3 or 4 in a row, can't even play in their own goddamn city. They got to play in a half-empty ass stadium in Birmingham when it ain't Stallion Games. Yo, Tim motherfucking King, the Tim King Show and the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Check them out. So you asked me a while back, you said, is the XFL going to last another couple years? I'm going to probably say no. I'll give them another year or 2, and you're shit out of luck. Thank you, Tim. That's your Bloodline brother that did this for us. Nick. Jordan, what's your take on this XFL?
Yeah, I like the XFL, but I see it probably going another few years, and then that don't be it.
Here, this might be an easy question for y'all. Who bankrupts and shuts down first? The XFL or the USFL?
Oh, the USFL by a mile. I mean, it all comes to attendance, because the XFL, yet not every team had great attendance. I know, obviously, the DC Defenders at Audi Field had just fantastic attendance. I mean, it's actually crazy to say, one of the best pro teams in Washington, D.C. You know, I know the Commanders are kind of a laughingstock. They just sold their team. I'm not much to be excited for in DC right now. So the Defenders are it right now. So if you take away the XFL and you take away the Defenders, man, it's a sad time to be a DC sports fan, unfortunately. But yeah, I got to go with the USFL is going to fold first before the XFL, because the XFL, it actually produces attendance. Like I said, DC has great attendance. I know the Roughnecks had good attendance. I mean, Vegas did not have great attendance. They looked like they played at a high school field.
No, that was a baseball stadium. They played at Vegas, played at some fucking baseball stadium from 1900 something. No, the Roughnecks played at TDECU Stadium, which is a home of the Houston Cougars. They can fill it up half full, but now that they're joining the Big 12, they're supposed to get a major renovation and add like another 10, 20,000 seats because their capacity is like 50,000 right now. They're supposed to add another 10, 20,000 because they're in the Big 12 starting this year. Them and the other three, Cincinnati, BYU, and I think UCF that's joined the Big 12. So, yeah, they're all starting this year. And then, Texas and Oklahoma are joining the SEC in 2024, which we got fucking Rob hosting Texas, but it's okay. We get to host Oklahoma. Fuck my family. I'm going to invite you two guys to that game, and we're going to rush the field if we beat them. I don't care if we go to jail. Tino can bail us out. Freddie can bail us out. Tim King can bail us out. Bakley can bail us out. The whole Bloodline Entertainment Network can bail us out of jail.
I'm not trying to go to jail, but I mean, if you go to jail, then there's nothing I can do. So
we're just going to tell them, you don't know who we are. We are the World Elite Podcast. We're the #1 wrestling podcast in the state.
Yeah, number one, we're not that big of a podcast. At the moment we say that, you're like, who the fuck are y'all?
Oh, God. All right, so I guess I'll go next. Let's talk about what pissed everyone off last week on SmackDown. So Asuka was revealed with Roman Reigns' championship with the white strap. So now they're calling it the WWE Women's Championship, but Rhea's is now called the Women's World Championship. But you know how everything was like whenever I guess they were making the graphics and everything. It's like they took Roman's belt and put it on Asuka, but colored the strap white because it said undisputed champion on it, and it pissed everybody off saying, well, then there shouldn't be 2 women's titles if she's the undisputed. No, shut the fuck up. It was just a malfunction with creative and editing because they just created this title. I'm pretty sure they did a photo shoot with it after, and if you see her back on the graphic with it, it's actually going to say Women's Championship, not Undisputed Champion. But anyhow, glad for Asuka, but it's like as soon as she couldn't even enjoy a celebration because every time this woman gets hurt and someone is on top of the mountain, she got to crash the party and ruin their moment. Charlotte Flair returns after being out a couple months. Her last appearance was WrestleMania when she lost to Rhea Ripley, and just automatically puts herself in the title picture saying she is the line and made Bianca get back in the line. So today is June 15th. So 2 weeks from tomorrow, SmackDown's going to be in London at the O2 in front of that raucous crowd I can't wait for. Headline with this match, we're getting Asuka versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship on SmackDown. A lot of people are concerned thinking, oh, they're going to fuck Asuka again. Charlotte's going to take her title and she'll now be a 15-time women's champion. To be honest, I don't think it happens. I think Asuka will finally get that moment. She will finally get that push. Charlotte's just in this to kind of help Asuka get built back up, and like what Bakley said, to help Bianca turn heel. I'm shocked it's not turning into a triple threat unless they push it all the way to SummerSlam. But yeah, I was upset to see Charlotte back, but I'm going to stay positive about it and saying she's only in this to build Asuka up into a bigger star, because even though they were cheering for Charlotte, because everybody wants Bianca to be a heel right now. So that's what I believe. I mean, if Charlotte does win this, I'm going to be fucking pissed. I'm going to be trolling Twitter, but I think this one will go to Asuka, even if Bianca even costs Charlotte the match. That's another thing I think could happen.
Yeah. But also I do see this just working fully to Asuka's advantage, and I'm not actually pissed off that Charlotte is in the title picture, because she is one of the top superstars, no matter if she's been gone for a while or she's been there on TV every single week. And it's not the last name. I say this every time we talk Charlotte Flair. It's not the last name, because she is really that good. But it's not actually a bad thing, because you're not bringing in some random ass open challenge for Asuka saying, oh, Asuka's gonna take on fucking, I don't know, Tegan Knox or something like that. Asuka's gonna squash her and gonna look strong. She's taking on Charlotte Flair of all people. So Charlotte Flair coming in for this title shot is not actually a bad thing. Because I also see it as a way of maybe, long term, very long term, because this also could be a part of Asuka finally getting her revenge from Mania 34, losing her first ever match in WWE to Charlotte Flair. She tapped out. So maybe she makes Charlotte Flair tap out. It could be a long story, something like that. That's the way I look at it. I don't necessarily see this as a bad thing for Charlotte to come in for a title shot. She's not winning it. We all know Asuka's going to keep it for a while. And I think that this is a way, like Bakley was saying, to turn Bianca heel. They've been talking Bianca heel turn. They've even been talking Street Profits heel turn. So I think some way, somehow, that all three turn heel and maybe even link together with Bianca and the Street Profits some way, somehow. I'm not sure how they'll do it just yet. But, they are talking major heel turns for all three of them. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it all goes down. But yeah, Charlotte's not winning. I mean, this is a way just for Asuka to look stronger than just beating some other woman on the SmackDown roster.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Charlotte ain't winning, and I think it's a good thing for Asuka. Since like Dylan said, losing at WrestleMania 34.
Man, we were there for that. That was like a holy shit. It was a holy shit moment, but it wasn't as holy shit as the streak ending.
Oh yeah, nothing will ever be like that, because we were all shocked that Asuka tapped out, but everyone was surprised that Taker lost. You could hear a pin drop inside the Superdome.
See, Freddie even agreed with me, saying it could end with the DQ if Bianca gets involved. If she gets involved, I think she'll go after Charlotte because Charlotte cut in front of her after she just lost it. So I guess there's no such thing as an automatic championship rematch like back in the day. Even though Charlotte did lose a title, she's Charlotte. But anyhow, we'll move forward.
So in my discussion about Asuka with Open Challenges, Open Challenge came to mind when I talk my last topic for tonight, and let's go to All Elite Wrestling and their Open Challenges. Jordan and I had a big discussion about this when we were video chatting a few days ago. We were talking how AEW does not do a story very well. It's always an open challenge after an open challenge. Aside from Swerve Strickland, Orange Cassidy has not had a match and with a legit story behind it. He always opens up Dynamite. I think when he put the pen to the paper to sign his contract with AEW, or if he were renewed or whatnot, they said, well, you're going to open up Dynamite every single time. Every time I see Dynamite open, I'm expecting to hear Orange Cassidy's music hit. And it's always an open challenge for his championship. Same thing how Jade Cargill got to 60-0 before Statlander took it over for her. In the 60 matches that Jade Cargill won to retain her championship, or whenever she won the TBS title at whatever match it was in her streak, aside from Taya Valkyrie, was there a story behind any of these matches? I don't think there was at all. So it's just a frustrating thing as a wrestling fan. You watch AEW every single week, there somehow has to be a title match every single week with a new competitor. Because with Wardlow and Jake Hager, this didn't build into nothing. It was just a random put together match that Tony Khan did. He does this every single week. We don't have to have a title match every week. If you have a title match, to at least have a story behind it. If you're going to put it just like they're doing with MJF and Adam Cole, I think that's fantastic. I think it's fantastic storytelling. He brought up his old past from NXT. He brought up the whole thing about him being Keith Lee's manager. It's good storytelling, but I don't need to see Orange Cassidy fucking go against the Butcher or the Blade every single week. I don't need to see this. So I like thoughts from y'all. Is AEW constantly pushing the open challenge agenda every single week? Do we need to see Orange Cassidy defend his international championship every week? Does Chris Statlander now need to go against Red Velvet for the TBS title, or do they need to put a legit story behind the match if you're gonna have a championship match on AEW? Because we don't need to see it every week.
It's just Tony Khan being a fan, like a junkie fan, whatever they call it. Like he don't know how to book. He doesn't have any experience. He's just like one of the, what do they call it? Just he's not made for this. He's just a big fan. He's just a boy playing with his toys. Now, he didn't know Orange Cassidy didn't open up Dynamite last night. MJF and Adam Cole did, but it was bullshit that it ended in a no contest. I was hoping Cole would win to get him a title shot down the road, possibly at All In. I think the problem was the belts weren't defended before, and everyone complained that the titles were being used, and now they are being used, and people are complaining. That's just the IWC being a bunch of whiny bitches. They're not doing it. They're not defending them the way they wanted them to be defended. I mean, Orange Cassidy is defending that title, but he's defending it against Americans. They think he should be defending it against wrestlers from all over the world from other promotions, which we have seen him do that, take on guys from New Japan and all that. Yeah, Wardlow and Jake Hager, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Then this was a hit out of left field, and then on top of that, I'm in the shower because I didn't want to watch this shitty match. Then when I hear at Collision we're getting a TNT title match, Wardlow versus Luchasaurus, with no build-up. And they could probably build this up, but I claim this as same thing about Jungle Boy challenging for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, yeah, he did call out, say, I want to take on somebody at Forbidden Door. I want an open challenge, and Jungle Boy accepted. But now everyone's bashing Jungle Boy, saying that this match ain't going to be shit. He ain't a star. This is just a cakewalk for the IWGP champion. I mean, you never know. It could be a hell of a match. And then on top of that, same thing with which I knew they were going to do that. MJF was going to have to defend against somebody, and we're getting MJF versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, which I think it could be a good match. But I know everyone's more excited about Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega and Okada versus Bryan Danielson. But I don't know, Jungle Boy and Sonata, I mean, it could be good. But yeah, all these other matches, like, Miro's in action. Who the fuck's he going to face at Collision? We got Buddy Matthews taking on somebody. I forgot. Because
he's taking on Andrade
El Idolo. So yeah, we haven't seen Andrade in a fucking while. So that's just randomly out of nowhere. I saw there was a women's match that got advertised. I think it was Willow Nightingale versus Ruby Soho. I think it is. I think they made that for Collision.
But the whole thing, what my point about it was that it was a championship matches. For Dynamite, not every match in general is gonna have kind of a story behind it. But Collision with Ruby and Willow, yeah, she's been coming to the aid of a Sky Blue. She did that also last night on Dynamite. She came to the aid of her. So I mean, there's a little story behind it.
I don't want to talk about that. I was so pissed about that match. Sky Blue was this close.
Yeah, it's a tag match.
And that stupid fucking women's faction wannabe DX NWO bitches cost Sky Blue the women's title. Which, I mean, are we still going to see some women's blood and guts match with them plus Britt and Saraya and whoever the fuck else? Because they've been disappearing for a little while. They've been focusing more on Tony Storm's title reign and then whatever Britt's doing, even though Jamie Hayter's out with an injury now, so maybe it is out the window.
Yeah, it's looking less and less likely right now, unfortunately. I was looking forward to a women's blood and guts match, something we haven't gotten yet, but it's not looking likely right now. Jamie Hayter's out on the shelf for a little while. It sucks, but that was the reason why, like I mentioned, even though I wasn't on a prediction show for Double or Nothing, I did say she's injured, she's going to drop it, and she did, but it sucks. Jamie Hayter is such a special talent. So whenever she comes back, maybe they'll revisit the idea of doing blood and guts, because I would love to see the women go at it in this match.
But I got to ask real quick. Dynamite was actually pretty decent for once last night. I really enjoyed it. The main event was hella good. It was awesome. The Elite beating Blackpool Combat Club. I loved how it ended even if they fucking put Eddie Kingston coming back attacking Claudio, so I guess we're getting another Claudio Kingston match probably at Death Before Dishonor. I'm not interested in it. I won't even be watching that pay-per-view because I'll be on vacation. But it just got, I mean, you just saw return after return. We see Taikesha come out, then we see Kenny Omega come out. But man, when Will Ospreay came out through the crowd, I jumped out my fucking recliner. I'm like, holy shit. And then my dad's calling me, who's this fucking clown? He's from Japan, Dad. You don't know him, but he's fighting Kenny for the title at Forbidden Door. This is response. What fucking title? Oh, he's got a title in New Japan. You don't watch it, but we're gonna watch this pay-per-view. And then all he kept doing is he kept shit talking Bryan Danielson, saying, Bryan being a little bitch, he just sitting at the counter. I said, it's not a counter, it's a commentary table, but okay.
Dude, every time you impersonate your dad, he sounds like a person who just lives out in the sticks, and I would just love to have a beer with this man one day. That's who he sounds like.
Sadly, my dad can't drink anymore because he recovered from 3 strokes 3 years ago.
Oh, well, shit. Well, get him an O'Doul's. That's like the non-alcoholic stuff, so I can drink one with him.
Everyone thinks my dad's kin to Ed Ogeron because they talk just alike. Man,
he sounds like it. He sounds like Farmer Fran from The Waterboy. That's what he sounds like.
Oh, maybe now.
That's what he sounds like. The moment you talk like him, I'm like, that sounds just like Farmer Fran.
Holy shit. But it's the funniest is like he sometimes forgets like names. Like I tell you, every time Seth Rollins comes out, he calls him Burn It Down because he can't. He can remember like Roman Reigns and like that, but he'll say Seth Rollins every once in a while, but every once in a while he's like, "Oh, Burn It Down came out," and then, he'll say Roman Reigns, but like he'll get the Usos mixed up. He'll just say, he'll say like Roman's bitches, or he'll say like Roman's bodyguard. He calls Solo Roman's bodyguard, but he'll say Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman just like that. He could say Becky Lynch. He could say Bianca Belair, the Street Profits. Chad Gable, and he calls Otis the tree trunk.
Well, at least he has the right concept with people. You know, he can't remember the names. He has the right concept. He actually says stuff that refers to them. So at least he knows that. So I got to give it to him. Yeah,
but and of course he could say he knows Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and whatnot. But like then there's some wrestlers like I'm not gonna say on this show, but I'll never forget the first time he saw Pretty Deadly. he called me about that. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't getting any further detail. But when he saw Pretty Deadly for the first time and he called me, I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, for the sake of the show and the sake of this live stream, keep all comments like that private.
But he don't watch NXT, but like he knows who Braun Breaker is now, and like he likes Braun Breaker. I said that's Scott Steiner's nephew, and that's Rick Steiner's son. And my dad knew the Steiner brothers when he was watching it back in the day, because my dad watched wrestling back in the 80s and 90s. Like he watched the Attitude Era, but his WCW was like his number one show at the time, because that's what he passed on to me was WCW. Like he still knows Singh and Sammy Guevara, Jericho. If he can't say Jericho, he calls him the fucking wizard. He's a wizard. He's a wizard, he says.
That's awesome.
God damn. Oh, shit. All right, so this will be my final topic. We're going to keep on going until the season ends. So we're going to just do a double talk. So last week of Dark Side of the Ring, I told you they did an episode on Terry Allen, a.k.a. Magnum TA, and you said you wanted to watch it so you can understand his story more, but that was the guy I remember seeing for the first time in the crowd at Night of Champions when they recognized him as the greatest United States champion of all time. And then some guys who were a couple seats in front of me told me, they were like, that dude would have been the Hulk Hogan we never had because of what happened to him. And I'm like, well, what happened to him? Well, it was in like the mid 80s. I think it was like in 85 or 86. He was driving home in his brand new Porsche 911 car. He was driving back home in Charlotte after he had a match, and there was a massive rainstorm, and he hydroplaned and he crashed into a telephone pole that had split the telephone pole in half and got in a severe car wreck that he almost lost his life. And his vertebrae fucked up where they thought he was going to be paralyzed for the rest of his life. And unfortunately, he was not paralyzed for the rest of his life, but his life did completely change where not only would he be able to never wrestle again, but he would never be able to like walk properly ever again. And there were times where he might walk with a cane or he might ride that little scooter bike. It looked like a Segway that they have for people who have no feelings in their legs, not being paralyzed, but like have partial feelings and whatnot. Magnum TA had one of the most saddest stories to ever happen, even though he didn't lose his life, because of all the stories I've heard about Magnum TA, he was like a huge star in Jim Crockett Promotions. They were about to make him the world champion. He was planned on taking the NWA world title from Ric Flair before his car accident happened. And, you know, him being also like a motivational speaker and whatnot, he'll appear on like indie shows and share a story. And he still goes and travels and watch wrestling these days. But yeah, man, that's just a fucking sad thing. Like, just like if what happened didn't happen, you think he'd have been bigger than Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, I mean, I 100% think so, you know, because I went back and watched it, and I mean, he had everything. I mean, this guy had everything to be one of the top talents, and it's so unfortunate what happened to him, you know, like he was just I mean, there. And man, like, and the women, like, just like Bakley said in the comments, you know, the women fucking loved this guy.
Yeah, he looked like Tom Selleck from Magnum
He
PI.
did. Yeah, he really did, you know, and it's just an unfortunate thing that happened to him. You know, he just had it, and he had everything to be one of the top stars, and damn, it's so unfortunate.
Yeah, and he had like one of the greatest best of 7 of all time with Nikita Koloff. They brought that up, and then he also had some great feuds with Jimmy Garvin, whatnots. But yeah, man, it was such a crazy story. I couldn't imagine how time stood still for him. But like with the power of prayer and everything, he was able to survive, but his life completely changed where he was not be able to walk properly again, and he would never ever wrestle again. And he was just on the cusp of being the top guy. And just think, like, if he would have became the top guy and beat Ric Flair for the title, you never know. Maybe Vince could have called him up and he could have been with WWF, and then maybe we could have got some like fantasy booking matches, maybe Magnum TA versus Hogan, or versus Macho Man, or versus Ultimate Warrior, or versus, you know, maybe Shawn Michaels in the 90s. You never know. Or Bret Hart. Like, it was, the NWA was so shortly after his accident, and it basically killed the National Wrestling Alliance. Yeah. NWA still hanging around, but it ain't like it was in the past. Especially ain't shit because you got motherfucking Tyrus as your NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And he's not from Louisiana. He just moved in Louisiana in 2009 and lived there for 8 years. He's originally from Los Angeles because he used to be a bodyguard for Snoop Dogg. So he ain't going to be a Cajun cornholer. And then this week's episode, they focused on the Graham family, which I didn't know who they were until 2008 when Eddie Graham was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He was the founder and promoter of Championship Wrestling from Florida. He also was a wrestler himself. He brought in guys to put his show on the map, guys like Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes, just to name a few. And then even his son, Mike Graham, wrestled and became a top star. Just the crazy thing about this family was, though, their problems with alcohol abuse and everything. For four generations of this family were gone because of suicide. You know, they mentioned it at the end, but Eddie Graham's father committed suicide. Eddie Graham's uncle committed suicide. Then in 1985, Eddie Graham committed suicide. And then in 2010, his grandson committed suicide. And then 2 years later, after his grandson, his own son, Mike Graham, committed suicide. So it's such a chain of this, like, that's saying, like, it runs in the family. Like, and it's such a sad story because I've known families that has been down that path where they've all died the same way, where like 3 generations died from breast cancer, or 2 or 3 generations died from brain cancer, or from suicide, or heart attacks, blood clots, any sort of type of death. It chains alone. It's like a cycle. But this was one of the saddest. Like, I thought of the Von Erichs because it's the same with them. Remember, all the brothers except Kevin Von Erich died. Well, 3 of the brothers died of suicide. One died from a overdose, I think. He died in Japan from overdose, and then the other 3 committed suicide. But Kevin Von Erich, or I think it's Kerry Von Erich. Yeah, Kerry Von Erich, the older brother, he's the only one still hanging. And even the daddy, Fritz, died too, but he didn't die from suicide. I think he died from he either died from a stroke or he died from a heart attack or something in 2000. But when I saw the Graham episode, I compared it to the Von Erichs because it dealt with suicide. And it was such a sad story to hear. And, you know, the daughter of Mike Graham was in the documentary. You saw her a lot outside of Jim Cornette, which, I mean, she's just a strong woman. I'll give her being strong. You know, she's being strong for her family. She was talking about this family has a motto. I forgot what the motto was. I should have written it down, but Mike Graham had it tattooed on his arm for his dad. I think it's like "Don't define me" or something or some shit like that. Well, she was gonna get it tattooed on her too. But I enjoyed listening to her talk about her family. It was a travesty story of the Graham family, but it was a great episode to watch. And that's all I got to say on that episode. What's your take on watching the Graham family?
Man, and you said it perfectly. It had such a resemblance to the Von Erich family because no, not all of them died by suicide, but the ratio of ones that did and didn't is obviously on the suicide one. And man, just listening to this story was heartbreaking, man. Like it was heartbreaking to listen to the story being told about how he dealt with, you know, such trouble with alcohol. He would crawl in like a field and find like a fucking empty alcohol bottle and would drink, you know, what was left in it. Like he was that bad with alcohol, and then eventually he ended up killing himself, you know, and it was just a gut-wrenching detail of it about how he shot himself twice. That was so gut-wrenching just listening to the details about this whole family, you know, that pretty much everyone died by suicide. And man, just listening to it was like, I don't know, it was heartbreaking. It was such a heartbreaking episode to watch, man. But you know, that's the thing, you know, you're getting into a dark side of the ring. They're not going to talk about good things that happen here. It's all some pretty dark stuff, hence the name of the show. You know, it's all dark stuff. So if you think you're going into this to watch something that's going to make you happy, turn the channel because it's not happening. You know, the Chris Candido episode, the Magnum TA episode, the Graham family, it's all been sad stuff so far. Fortunately for Magnum TA, he's still, you know, he's still kicking, but it's unfortunate for the Graham family. That was just a gut-wrenching episode to watch, and I know that getting more into the season is going to get more and more heartbreaking. So I'm going to continue watching, but I just know that there's no positivity leading up to any of these episodes, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know, suicide's no joke. You know, you never know what people are going through. You know, we always go through, there's always going to be dark times in our life. And like I've said before, if you or anyone you know is going through a rough time and had suicidal thoughts, you know, talk to somebody. There is a suicide hotline. You know, it's always sad to hear, even if it involves a celebrity or somebody you know or just a random stranger. Dying of suicide is like one of the most harsh things you can hear, especially. You know, there's been other wrestlers over the years that died of suicide. Remember, Brian Christopher hung himself. Suicide. Mike Awesome died from suicide. Daphne died from suicide. Outside of wrestling, you know, one of my all-time favorite childhood hero and actors, Jason David Frank from AKA Tommy from Power Rangers, died of suicide. One of my best friends shot and killed himself 5 months ago, and I was in a dark time at the time when I was off the show. So yeah, suicide is no joke. You know, people's I didn't say people's emotions, but like, you know, just don't joke about suicidal thoughts. You know, don't joke about shit like that. Like, it's not cool, you know, because you never know what people are going through. And, you know, there's always somebody out there to reach if you are going through a rough time. And if suicide ever been on your mind, just talk to somebody. You know, we're available. If anybody out there that's listening is going through a rough time and you need somebody to talk to, my DMs are open. Dylan's DMs are open. Jordan's are open, even though he don't tweet, but he's available to talk to.
Yeah.
You know, always look, yes, like Freddie said, always reach out, check on your friends and family.
Yep.
And next week on Dark Side of the Ring, we get to watch Doink the Clown. Matt Bloom.
That's gonna be a good one. Yep.
Yeah. I watched the grand one in the middle of the night, and then the little clown laugh kind of got me in the trailer. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, it's Doink the Clown. Okay.
Yeah, I fucking hate clowns, dude. That shit scared the hell out of me.
Looking forward to it. I think after that, then the one I've been waiting for is after that, the one on the Junkyard Dog. So
I'm just waiting on the finale. Marty Jannetty. That's the one I've been looking forward to. That dude's a fucking weirdo.
So I know we got Doink the Clown next week. Then we got Junkyard Dog. They were supposed to get Adrian Adonis, Bash at the Beach 2000, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Marty Jannetty. That's like the next episodes. I don't know in what order, but I know the second to last episode's Bash at the Beach 2000, and the season finale is Marty Jannetty. But I think that's the order: Doink the Clown, Junkyard Dog, Adrian Adonis, Bam Bam Bigelow, Bash at the Beach, and Marty Jannetty. That's the order, if I'm correct.
Let's see. I just brought the schedule up because I remember sending it to you. Yeah, Doink the Clown, Junkyard Dog, Adrian Adonis, Bash at the Beach, Abdullah the Butcher, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Marty Jannetty is the season finale.
Oh, I forgot about Abdullah the Butcher, even though he's still alive. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be about him being so violent and talk. It's going to be kind of like the Nick Gage episode, like just talk how violent and disgusting he was in the ring and almost killing people.
Yeah, I know.
That's what it's mainly going to be. But well, I think that will do it for today's episode. This was a fun one, but next Thursday, June 22nd, will be our next live stream. Not just a live stream. It's going to be our first of 2 back-to-back prediction shows we got coming up. Next week, we will do our Forbidden Door prediction show, and we got Bakley from Cage My IQ coming on to talk New Japan Pro Wrestling. A couple other topics we're going to find throughout the week, plus the Doink the Clown episode, and then we're going to predict Forbidden Door. So it's going to be a fun one. Do you guys have any last thoughts before we close out? Oh, you're missing out. We're closing out, Nick. Hey, thank you for the new background, by the way, and all the red and black, looking like we're the Wolf Pack. You guys have any last words?
Yeah, one more thing. I just saw a little while ago, Impact posted that Slammiversary. It's going to be PCO and Scott D'Amore taking on Bully Ray and Steve Macklin.
Steve Macklin tag match.
That's going to be good.
No, I'm watching New Japan right now, and I'm watching Will Ospreay take on Lance Archer. I don't know how long ago this was. Yeah, I got something. Bakley, how long ago did this match happen with Will Ospreay and Lance Archer? Because they always show their shit from 2 weeks prior. So I'm actually enjoying a little New Japan right now. But while I watch this, you can find the podcast on Twitter at Orderly Pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Our live streams powered by StreamYard. You can watch anytime on demand on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook page. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts on all audio platforms: Spotify, Google Pod, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Apple Pod, and many more. Big thank you to our proud sponsors. First, W Energy. Be better. Go to w.gg. Use our promo code WorldElitePod to get 10% off. And our other sponsor, 80s Tees. Go to 80stees.com and use our code WorldElite to get 30% off of your order. Also, I'm actually watching Dominion right now on TV. Hell yeah. So I didn't know they had a match over there. This is a good one so far. Well, guys, that will do it. This was fun. And be sure to look out because my episode with Freddie, the boys of SummerSlam 1997, will be dropping soon. Dylan and I will record SummerSlam 2004 after that. Next, after we drop this one. And I got some other shit I'm recording, I thought. I don't know. We got an episode dropping soon that we recorded last Monday, which there's a story about that. You want to share that real quick?
Yeah, so I had the duties of editing it was gonna be our new episode dropping about the greatest main roster debuts, and it came out so good. The editing was perfect on it. I was on a roll with this one, and I was actually getting ready to insert that last audio clip that you had sent me, like the outro of it. And the moment I clicked on the file to put it on the software froze and it completely like shut down. So I lost like an hour worth of editing. So the episode is coming. I plan on dropping it Sunday. That's the plan right now. If it doesn't drop Sunday, just know I tried editing again. It shut down on me. And the laptop I'm currently using for this live stream will more than likely be in my front yard because I threw it outside.
I remember how pissed you were. You were like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna wait till next week."
I was fucking heated when that happened. I was so mad.
Because I said I was dedicating that episode to Queen's Takeover, and they were like, "Where's the episode? They didn't drop yet." I'm like, I told them the story, and they were like, "Oh," and I'm like, "But it's coming soon."
It will at some point. Just
I
know,
know.
there's no episode, there's no release date for it. Just no release date is gonna be soon, sometime soon. I don't know.
I know there's another audio coming up that we wanted Jordan to be involved in because he wasn't in it back when you and I started this show, but I had that list ready to go. We just never recorded that one yet, but possibly it will drop sometime this month. Hopefully, what was it? Greatest rivalries in all of wrestling, not just WWE. We were talking about all the other promotions, including the old school ones.
Yeah, and get this, before we close out, Jordan actually wrote me the other day, said one day he wants to come up with a topic. So a new topic episode, maybe something new Jordan comes up with. Maybe he'll dive into one of our older episodes he wasn't a part of, but something new with Jordan as the person who chooses the topic. So be on the lookout for that one as well.
Oh, what's the topic?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know yet.
Okay. I guess there'll be a surprise.
Yep, we'll all be surprised.
Well, that's good. Well, I like surprises, and you've surprised me quite often in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it for tonight. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. Oh, and before we close out, real quick, one more thing. Father's Day is coming up this weekend. I'm going to send a big happy Father's Day to all the wonderful dads out there. To all our buddies in the podcasting world, from the UW Pod to the Bloodline Entertainment Network or Drive to the Top Productions, anybody else around there, happy Father's Day to you guys. Happy Father's Day to Bakley. Happy Father's Day to Tim King. Happy Father's Day to Freddie. Happy Father's Day to all you guys. Happy Father's Day to Matt Ritter. If there's anybody else I'm missing in our group chat, that's a dad. Happy Father's Day to all you guys. I'm going to give a shout out real quick to my dad, even though he don't watch our show, but he knows how to make a graphic tee with our cartoon faces on it that I got for Christmas 2 years ago. But happy birthday to my farmer friend, Ed Ozeral talking dad, Shannon. I love you. You've turned me into a wrestling fan that I will celebrate 26 years next month. So July, I'll be celebrating all month long being a wrestling fan for 26 years now. So happy birthday. Jesus, tap dancing Christ. Happy Father's Day, Dad. I love you. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, and also a happy Father's Day to the new dads of the Universal Wrestling Podcast, Nick and Keith, who just recently each became a father not long ago. So
Really?
Major shout out to them. Yeah, Nick and his wife just not long ago just had theirs. I know Keith was not too far behind him, so they're each a new father. So yeah, you can't forget.
Congratulations to the Universal Wrestling Podcast hosts. Both of them are now daddies.
Yeah, and since you're getting your father out the way, I'll do mine as well. Unfortunately, mine's not here no more, but he's the reason why I'm a wrestling fan. He's the reason why I'm a part of something like this, like a wrestling podcast. He taught me everything I need to know about wrestling, and he's the reason why I love it so much. So, of course, I do everything for him. So, I do this show for him. I dedicate it all to him. So, I wouldn't be where I am without him.
Jordan?
Happy Father's Day To all the dads and mine.
Y'all have a wonderful Father's Day weekend. Y'all deserve it.
Yeah.
But this is the Worldly Podcast, and we will see you guys next week. Thank y'all for tuning in, and y'all have a blessed one. Goodbye.
Pushing and pulling me back and forth diabolically. Spent so much time impairing me psychologically. Do you believe in